Sydney, Australia, 6-year-old girl named Kaisha Abrahams randomly went missing from her home on July 18, 2010, and days after the disappearance, multiple news outlets interviewed both Kaisha's mother Christy and her boyfriend Robert, both whom seemed clueless about the little girl's disappearance. But in reality, they were the ones responsible, as they abused the child for days by burning her with cigarettes and beating her, until a blow to the head from her own mother ultimately ended her life.
What would you like to say, mate?
If there's anyone out there that knows or seen anything, just come forward, contact the police.
What did the last 3
It
days?
would really help.
Rob, do you want to talk us through the last time you saw Kaisha?
Last time I saw her, we were just watching a movie together, you know. Someone must know something. Please come forward.
What kind of personality does she have?
She's beautiful, you know, funny, always happy.
Was that on Saturday that you were watching a movie?
The last movie we watched was The Golden Compass.
Rob, how have the past 48 hours been for you and Christy?
Can't describe how it's been. You don't know until you put yourself in my shoes. Just hope that she's found as soon as possible. That's what we need. Safe and well.
How hard is it for you the longer this goes?
It gets harder by the minute.
Rob, we've all seen such beautiful pictures of the little girl. Can you tell us a little bit about her, what she's like? You know, what as parents you really like about her?
She's always happy, bubbly, you know, love playing, you know, just like any kid would.
Rob, do you have any idea that anyone who you might know who may have taken Christy, does the family obviously thought about long and hard about this? Does anyone have any idea?
I have no idea. If I had any idea, mate, we'd be there looking.
Christy and Robert then stuffed Kaisha's body into a suitcase before burning it and burying it in a shallow grave in a wooded area. And 8 months after the murder, Christy admitted to police that she was responsible for her daughter's disappearance, and she along with Robert were both arrested and charged, and Christy was sentenced to 22 years in prison, while Robert was only sentenced to 12 years. On June 26, 2011 in Macon, Georgia, a man named Stephen McDaniel broke into his neighbor named Lauren Giddens' apartment. He then murdered the woman by strangulation before dismembering her body and throwing her remains in the trash can outside. And after Lauren's family didn't hear from her in a few days, they became worried and alerted police. And 4 days after the murder, news outlets began to interview other residents at the apartment about Lauren's disappearance, including the one man responsible.
No one's heard from her since.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time, anything like that?
No one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
And she just recently graduated from Mercer?
Yeah, she and we were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see her?
She's as nice as can be. Very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know anybody any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because we went over, one of her friends had a key, we went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. The door was locked when everyone got here. We just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? We don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
After McDaniel's strange behavior during the interview, police searched his apartment and found Lauren's stolen underwear and a master key to all the apartments, and this is what ultimately linked him to her disappearance, and he was eventually charged with first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. On August 13, 2013, a mother and a wife named Shanann Watts, along with her 2 children, were reported missing by a family friend after she didn't hear from them in a while. The next day, Shanann's husband, Chris Watts, appeared on TV news pleading for his family's safe return, but it would soon be discovered that he was the one responsible for their disappearances.
I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, S-H-A-N-A-N-N.
What's your kids?
Bella and Celeste. C-E-L-E-S-T-E.
How old are your daughters?
4, Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, you know, what's going on. Like, because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like, she'd just gotten back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona. And I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like, it registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
After police were suspicious about Chris's strangely calm demeanor, he was brought into police custody for further questioning and given a polygraph test, which he failed. And this is when Christopher Watts confessed to having an affair with another woman and killing his wife and kids by strangling them after getting into an argument with Shanann. And on November 19, 2013, Chris was given 5 life sentences for the murder of his family. In April 2012 in Queensland, Australia, a woman named Alison Clay randomly went missing from her home, and a few days after her disappearance, her husband Gerard appeared on the news claiming that he didn't know where his wife was. But in actuality, it was all a lie, as he was the one who killed his wife and dumped her body in a creek.
I'm trying to look after my children at the moment. They've got 3 young girls, and we really trust that the police are doing everything they can to find my wife, and we just hope that she'll come home soon. I've spoken to the police about everything and I've had no contact from her at all.
Was she upset before she went away?
No, and the police, I've tried to help the police as much as I can, and we all have everything we've got, so thank you, I'm sorry.
After Alison's body was found, an investigation discovered that Alison's life was insured for over $500,000, and it was soon revealed that Gerard killed his wife for the money and to start a new life with another woman. But Gerard would be arrested and charged with murder before being sentenced to life in prison. On August 4, 2002, 2 10-year-old girls named Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman had just left a family barbecue in Soham, United Kingdom, and while walking, one of the girls suffered a nosebleed, and this is when a caretaker at their school named Ian Hunter spotted them and lured them inside his house by offering help, then brutally smothering them to death before going on the news and making up a fake story about the last time he saw the girls.
Ian Huntley here is a familiar figure. Evening, Ian. You're the school caretaker. The girls, Jessica and Holly, would know you, and they saw you on the front doorstep. What went on?
I don't know the girls. I stood on the front doorstep grooming my dog down. She'd run away and come back a bit of a mess. They just came across and asked how Miss Carr was, as she used to teach them at St Andrews. I just said she weren't very good, as she hadn't got the job. And they just said, please tell her that we're very sorry. And off they walked in the direction of the library over there.
After Ian's story didn't make sense according to police investigations and the girls were last seen with him, he was arrested and charged with the 2 murders and eventually sentenced to life imprisonment.